What's going on, people? So I'm here to address and clarify something that I chose to post last night on my Facebook page that has some people up in arms and angry. Now, I'm a comedian, and my job is to make people laugh as much as I possibly can. However, I'm also a human being, and I happen to wear my emotions on my sleeve. And once my emotions get to a certain point, I feel the need to vent and express my opinion, which I have every right to do. Now, if you haven't yet read what I posted, you're more than welcome to go to my Facebook page and read it. But to give you a brief explanation, I simply stated that I am sick and tired of how people are treating one another in this world. People are not only judging others, but they're choosing not to speak to one another simply because they don't share the same opinion. How is that not insane? Now, of course, I use politics as one example because let's face it, I personally know a ton of people that have been friends for over 20 years and choose not to speak to each other because they share different political views. How does that even make sense? I also use the pandemic as an example because I constantly see comments on social media from people jumping down another person's throat because they simply share a different opinion in regards to this pandemic. Now, I did go on later in my post to say, and it's my opinion, that I personally do not want to accept this way of life as the new normal. Now, obviously, I don't mean let's just go out in herds, open places up, and start packing them in. I mentioned that we can possibly do it slowly, take baby steps, and have proper precautions in place. So many people took what I said, twisted it, and created their own arguments. I never once in my post mentioned the word mask or if you should or should not wear one. However, people felt the need to argue about masks. I never once mentioned the word abortion in my post, but yet someone felt the need to bring it up, state their opinion about it, and start a full argument about that as well. My main point was stop judging people because they don't agree with you. Now imagine every single one of your friends stopped talking to you the minute they found something about you they didn't like or that they disagreed with. You'd have no friends. Neither would I. But it's crazy how quick we are to alienate somebody over one thing that we disagree with. Here's another example. I am obviously a Yankee fan, a die-hard Yankee fan. Goomba Johnny, who I happen to tour with, is a Mets fan. Should I not speak to him because he likes the Mets and not the Yankees, even though it breaks my heart that he was born in the Bronx and he likes the Mets? Or should I not perform shows in Boston because they have a lot of Red Sox fans there? Sounds ridiculous, right? Not to speak to someone simply because they like a different professional sports team? That's how I feel when people choose not to speak to one another because of their political views, how they look at this pandemic, or their opinions in general. It's ridiculous. Enough is enough, people. Stop blaming politicians for how this country is divided. You are your own person. I am my own person. I will continue to treat you the way you treat me. And that's how I'm going to raise my kids. We are literally all in this together. And I don't know how some of you don't see that. Bottom line is, if you don't come out of this pandemic and have a little more appreciation for life and a little more respect and appreciation for those around you, then you might want to look in the mirror and evaluate yourself. Because I, for one, cannot wait to see my family, to start hanging out with my friends again, to see my kids hanging out with their friends, and getting back to living life and cherishing every single day. Because tomorrow's not guaranteed. And this pandemic has proven that in a very, very harsh way. But what the hell do I know? I'm just a comedian. I want to thank everybody for listening. I love and appreciate every single one of my fans. And now let's get back to comedy.